Alright, welcome back to Skyrim. So last time we got some adept level spells, namely Anima's Adept Priest, Summon Draugr Mage, and Mark and Recall. So I'm pretty excited to be trying them out today. And I also thought of a name for our Draugr Mage summon. Actually, I'm not going to summon him right now because then the college people will probably freak out. Actually, I don't know that for sure, but they might freak out because it's necromancy. But yeah, I thought of a name for him. Morris is going to name him after his father, Burguk, because he finds that to be very amusing to have a Draugr named after his father being mindless and subservient to him, because he's not a big fan of his father. So yeah, first thing that we're going to do today is, once again, we're going to look for Finis, because we're going to sell back the tomes now we're done with them, and Morris is fairly confident now that he has perfected his Curse of the Withering Soul spell. So he's going to sell it to Finis so that he can continue stocking it in the future. Oh yeah, and before we do that, we did level up. So let's look at what perks we can take. We're level 61 in Alteration. That's actually pretty impressive. I wasn't expecting to be that far along. So we can get Alter Self Attributes. Yes, we're going to increase our health. Look at that. Now Morris is at 230 health. The days of Squish are quite possibly behind us. I realized I started saying that to the wrong person at first. She's probably like, what the fuck kind of drugs is our Archmage on? Probably skooma, huh? But no, we're not on skooma. Morris is actually drug-free. Now, the title of this book has caught his attention, though, because he did think about the Galder legend. We found the Galder amulet fragment, the Writ of Sealing, and it was like, we banished the name from history. So he sees Lost Legends. He's like, huh, that's interesting. So he's just going to have a read through that and be like, yes, I should investigate that. Also, I phrased that in probably the stupidest way. I said be like several times. Whatever. I'm kind of excited for this recording, so shut up. Alright, so we're not going to be doing that today though, but we have that on our to-do list. The thing that Morris actually wants to focus on today is getting the rest of the pieces of Mehrunes Razor, seeing what Silas has planned for that. And also, we do have another quest that is going to take us to Falkreath. Here, Legends Lost. We were investigating those detoured caravans, or the destroyed caravans, one of which detoured to the Falkreath area. And one of the blade fragments is in the Falkreath area, so might as well kill two birds with one stone. And just check that out while we're doing that. Oh, Jazargo, we did need to talk to you.
Jazargo is pleased, and more than a little jealous to greet the new Archmage.
Yes, about that. I've tested your scrolls.
And? Were they magnificent?
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were trying to kill me so you can have a chance at my position in the college.
Oh, Jazargo takes this to mean it did not go well. This was not the intention, to be sure. It is true that Jazargo was slightly concerned there may have been problems. But you were not placed in harm's way on purpose. Still, you are a good friend to Jazargo now, for taking this risk. Jazargo thanks you.
I would have appreciated it if you could have voiced your concerns about the spells before giving me the scrolls.
Swift hunting.
Yeah. Luckily, I went in skeptical.
Makes me homesick for the Arcane University. Oh, those heady student days.
Yeah, I went in skeptical and used elemental protection right off the bat, and totally not because in the first attempt at recording that episode I didn't do that and it ended up insta-killing me. Yeah, Morris is actually, speaking of insta-kills, I'm glad that Morris is a little bit more beefy now. Once we get to master level alteration, there's also a spell within the school of alteration that is going to be quite useful for Morris. It's from my spell mod. There's a spell that allows you to boost one of your stats. You can choose between health, magicka, stamina, or carry weight. You can boost them one at a time, and you can change which one you have boosted. But we're going to be boosting our health with that, I think, when we get that spell. Basically, you're altering your physicality with it. It's a master level alteration spell. It's a permanent increase. Well, until you change what that buff is. That is. Wait, isn't that Finis's room right here? Yeah, it is. Where is the man? As elusive as ever. Whoops. He is just upstairs. If you're wondering why this menu popped up, it's because on my
I'd like you to have this as a token of my friendship.
Impressive that you handed me that through the wall. I thought you were the illusion guy. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the menu popping up. It's because I have my HUD button bound to a mouse button and then this menu button bound to the button behind it on the mouse. I have 12 side buttons on my mouse, if you're curious. Quit running away! Were you just down here the whole time and I thought that you were upstairs? That's a distinct possibility.
There are few places where one can pursue my type of work without fear of persecution.
Alright.
That instant. So you wish to master the arcane arts?
I'm gonna try to focus. I realize I'm a bit scatterbrained today. Yeah, but you could just have that book. I don't know why Travis gave it to me. Then, yes, you can also have this spell. I think I finally perfected it, so you can start carrying it. And then, fun fact, he currently has 2 because he was already carrying it. It's already integrated into the level list. Shh, I sold it to him for the first time. He didn't pay me very much for it, but now he has a new spell to stock. But yes, the Falkreath area is where we want to go now. It's 8 a.m., so still fairly early, and we could take the teleporter. Why am I blanking on Mullish Grow Nalab? Why was I blanking on his name? Oh god. I named him after a D&D character that was very dear to me, and I forgot his name. Why did that happen? I think it's because I was trying to think of Morris Groberguk. Oh, jeez.
Welcome. Let me know if you want. Think I got a clean mug around here.
I have too many orcs on the brain right now. I'd like to teleport somewhere.
Where would you like to go?
I'd like to go to Falkreath.
Farewell.
Farewell. That was probably actually a bad imitation, even though I voiced the character. My voice isn't terribly warmed up today. It's still fairly early. It's 8:52 a.m. in real life. It's also pretty close to that in game. But yes, so the detoured carriage is to the east of the city, and then we'll be going to the west for the blade fragment. Okay, so it's near Peakshade Tower. Easy enough. Let's go and have a look. Oops.
The rightful High King. What a laugh.
Pretty morning in the Falkreath hold. A little bit of a mist coming in. I sound like either a weatherman or the pilot of an airplane as we're coming in for a descent. I don't know what that was. So yeah, we're going to stop by the carriage first because it's closer. And now something to address as well, I can very well, after I finish my business in Falkreath Hold, I can just use Mark and Recall to go back to the College of Winterhold and then have Mullish teleport me somewhere else in order to travel pretty instantly across the province. But just self-imposed restriction, I'm probably not going to do that terribly often. Because I just find it makes the game's pacing a little bit odd. So it's an option, we can do that if we want to, but I'm not going to be doing it terribly often. Ah, so it was ran off the road then. Okay. I did see that skeleton had a bit more to it. Attunement Crystal and Velin's Letter. Yeah, let's just stand right here while I read. Why not? Wait for the text to go away. Kind of a long letter. Oh gosh, a lot of text needs to go away. You know, it's just the name. And Inados. The reports are right. Wraithguard and Sunder are sending a signal out to anyone that might be listening. I don't know how, but I think I know why. The tools were only meant to be used on Numidium. It makes sense that they would never be allowed to leave Morrowind. To ensure this, Kagranak must have put a failsafe system. If the tools were ever stolen, drones would be activated across Tamriel to recover them. The drones would then store the items in a vault until a tonal architect could fetch them. Unfortunately, as I suspected, that information was enough for some of the captains to betray us and change course. They no longer care about the artifacts or the job. They consider the cargo to be a death trap, and they are taking measures to unload it. Your caravan might think that they were carrying the tools, but Sadras and Halalu swapped them before they got to Whiterun, and intentionally I gave them up to retrieval drones. Intentionally gave them up to retrieval drones. Fortunately, I managed to track the drones back to the vault near Winterhold, what the locals call a sightless pit. I've also discovered that the vault can be opened with an attunement crystal, which I've sent along with this letter. As I am no warrior, I dare not venture inside without you. Hopefully this message reaches your party in time, for I know we are of like mind.
Did you know Falkreath used to be a part of Cyrodiil? If it was as dreary then as it is now, I'm not surprised we let the place go.
As a scholar, I want to see the artifacts delivered to my master, and you have always been someone who does not shirk on his duty. I have faith that you and your crew can return to the north and repair that mistake. Velen. Interesting. So a failsafe on the tools of Kagranek. That's what they were carrying. I wouldn't mind having my hands on those. I just hope that I would find a way around the failsafe system, because I don't want the drones coming after me forever. Well, that's that mystery solved, and our next course for that quest takes us back to Winterhold. But we are currently in Falkreath Hold, so we shall get the blade fragments and we'll worry about the tools of Kagranak at a later date. I actually don't remember how the quest, or if the quest even, explains the drones not coming after you take the tools of Kagranak. I guess I shall see. I've only played through it once, so memory is sometimes a little bit hazy on that. Considering I sometimes forget which spells I have on my favorited list, it's no surprise that I occasionally forget quests that I've only done once. Keep up, Lucian. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that when we reach the narrative point that I'm thinking of, I'm going to just leave Lucian behind. I'm not a fan of him talking while I'm trying to commentate, so I'm thinking that this series will become a no-followers series once we deal with that. But, as I said, I'm not just going to ditch him. I'm going to find a narratively satisfying point to part ways with him. Just in case, I'm going to get Iron Flesh ready. You never know what's lurking in the woods with its dense foliage. And that looks like the place. Oh. That was the wrong thing to use, but I guess I just used the Skull of Corruption on accident. Oh well. Okay, we've got orcs that are apparently bandits here. Have a Burguk. I briefly forgot the name I gave him. And as you can see, he summons his own skeleton. It's just the novice level of the Summon Skeleton series, but it's pretty cool. Nonetheless, not to toot my own horn too much. He comes with his own little minion. And then when you get the Elemental Potency perk, which does actually interact with these Summon Skeleton spells, they will be able to summon the rank below them, and the rank below them will be able to summon the rank below them. So when you have the Master level summon and Elemental Potency, you can summon the Master level summon, which will summon the Expert, which will summon the Adept, which will summon the Apprentice, which will summon the Novice. So yeah, it becomes a very interesting build. The reason why that's balanced, though, is that let's say that you're in a fight and the enemy decides to kill one of the higher ranked ones. The ones that are below them in the rank will actually die too. So if somebody kills the Master level summon, everything below will be killed as well. So there's a little bit of balance in there. They can take out your army by killing just one enemy if they are smart about it. But until that happens, you have a nice little skeletal army, which is why I call the build skeleton nesting doll, by the way.
This'll be.
Just get another Burguk out here. Missed me, and I missed you. I'll take your leg of goat roast. Orcish saber, still not as good as what Lucian has. Oops, I completely missed there. Oh, as you can see, he killed Burguk and his summon instantly died. Yeah, this guy was a tough guy with a big battle axe. A fire blast. So it's no wonder he one-tapped him. Arcanist Torch. One of these days it will become habit, I promise. Take that. Might as well take those as well. That just leads outside, but I'll unlock it just because. Why not? And yeah, we can't get at expert level locks yet because our alteration level is only level 61. I say only, but that is pretty high. Once we get to level 75 alteration, we'll be able to get those expert locks open. And at level 100 alteration, we'll be able to get master level locks open too. Okay, got some potions. Some coins. Very much not the blade fragments we're looking for yet, though. The final fragment, after we find this one, will be in the Reach. And here's a crafting station for the elemental gems mod that I made. Decided to just put it in the vault because why not? It's an old fort. Perhaps the previous owners were up to some weird shit. And just wait here, Lucian. A lot of traps ahead. Yoink. That was awfully close to hitting me. Alright, well that's one fragment down, as well as the mystery of the detoured caravan down. Next, I think I do want to head to the Reach rather than to Winterhold. Reason for that being we can just wrap up the fragments quest.
Ah, excuse me.
Yes, excuse you.
Oof.
I said excuse you.
Careful.
I'll take matters into my own hand if you're not going to move out of the way, Lucian. I actually don't know if I ever explained why I chose Lucian in particular for this series. It's because I didn't want Morris to feel like he was being overshadowed by a follower that was actually strong. And we instead have Lucian because he's somebody who you actually train and who is intentionally weaker than you by a decent bit. So I just chose him because it wouldn't overshadow Morris in his own adventure for strength. Which it occurs to me, I don't think I've actually ever trained Lucian, but we can say that off camera he probably has been training him. His skills do still increase, you just help expedite the process of increasing his skills when you actually train him. I thought it was a skeever at first. Yeah, we can actually continue down the road this way in order to get to the Reach. Oh, and we also do still have to find those notes from the blacksmith for the Saints and Seducers quest. This will take us in the right direction, I believe. Yeah, because that's the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary down there. Not that Morris knows that. Yeah, so going this way will take us past Half Moon Mill, which is where the journal actually pointed us. I'm also remembering his roadside ruins over there. We can still do the Bitter Cup quest as well from Anniversary Edition content, but that's not on our current to-do list. Perhaps in a future visit to Falkreath, we can worry about that. What's in that tower? Morris is wondering to himself. Blink. Blink. Bones. Wonder if it... Oh, yep, undead sounds. Necromancer.
Going to enjoy killing you.
Nice try, but I'm a far better wizard than you. And a far better necromancer at that too, not that I actually used the summon for that. I wasn't paying attention to how many of those I've absorbed. Yeah, that was a skill point. Okay. We will put that into speech as per the usual routine. So now we will get better prices from Khajiit caravans. Let's get Blink back so that we can get back to the road fairly easily. There we go. Don't know where Lucian ended up, but that's fine. He'll catch up eventually, and besides, I do have this menu, so I can pull him if I really need him. You know what, while we're in the Reach, Morris might actually be remembering this quest here, the Forsworn Conspiracy. At the time, I don't think he was terribly impressed about giving the note, but the curiosity would be nagging at the back of his mind as we get back to Markarth. So yeah, I'm going to mark that and plan for it when we get there. As long as I don't forget, that is. Are we in combat? Yep. I saw the outline of the invisible person. And that's what you get. Another Dark Brotherhood sort.
Pick up the pace a little. My boots are starting to slosh.
May want to investigate that at some point. See if I can't, quote-unquote, convince them to stop pursuing me. I thought I saw another invisible outline there for a second, but no, I think it was just a weird way that the rain was interacting with the foliage. Also, yes, I know there's a little bit of an issue here, but I can just disable that. Enhanced wetness in puddles. And northern roads, just not getting along right there. Yeah, here's a chest. Suppose that's what we're looking for, Lucian. Some ebony ingots, some of this stuff. They're fairly valuable ingots, I'll take them, why not? Read Yoftin's notes. I guess might as well stand outside of the running creek there. Yoftin's notes. An ancient battle site was discovered near Thoron's lairs. On the ground, an assortment of weapons and armor of the Daedra known as the Golden Saints and Dark Seducers laid strewn about. It is from the site that we took up their arms and joined
So the armor is forged with Daedra hearts. Sounds delightful. Not at all splattery.
It is from this site that we took up their arms and joined together as bandit companies under their names. Since then, as the only blacksmith, I have taken it upon myself to study these otherworldly artifacts. And now at last my efforts to reproduce the exquisite craftsmanship of the Daedra has finally borne fruit. My mind is not what it once was. If my memory fails me, at least these notes can help the others keep the craft alive. One would be foolish to forge weapons from gold, as it is far too soft, also heavy, and yet the golden blades of the saints are nimble and harder than steel. How could this be? The trick
is glorious. Don't you just love a bit of rain?
The trick appears to be threefold. First, the structure of the piece must be reinforced with refined moonstone. Second, the gold must be hammered into place while the gold is heated just below its melting point. Third, the introduction of the heart of a Daedra to the forge when heating the piece so it can be hammered into shape completely transforms the attributes of the metal, giving it its uncanny hardness. The process of forging the dark armor of the seducers is similar, but requires more finesse, as you must balance the shaping and shaping the unyielding ebony with malleable quicksilver. The heat must be applied very precise, or the shape and integrity of the equipment will be ruined. As before, introduce the Daedric heart to the forge as you heat the material. Interesting. Morris is not much of a blacksmith. He does know how to make jewelry to some extent, but those notes are going to be largely useless for him. Yes, I guess on that note of picking up those blacksmith notes, that's where I'm going to end this episode. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.